So this is Lab 2 star counting. I'm going to go through some hints here. Remember, the things that you're going to need is a protractor, a ruler, and a cardboard tube. You can use the center from a toilet paper roll, or you can just make it from some sort of construction paper, something that doesn't let light through. So there's a step-by-step procedure telling you exactly what to do in each of these steps. Let's go through it. The thing to remember is scan your lab sheets into a PDF file and submit an angel at the end so that I can see all this work. So the first part of this, what's the area of the rectangle? Use your ruler to measure in centimeters the length and height of this rectangle, and remember, area is length times height. That should be simple enough. Just remembering how to do some geometry. Or what's the area of the circle? The formula, the area of a circle is pi r squared. Remember, pi is 3.14, and r is the radius, so it's from the center out. You might find it easier to measure across the whole circle. That would be the diameter, so you just take that number and divide by 2. So now we get into our tube. So in this step, I need to measure the length of the tube. So this tube, I put my measurement on there, and it looks like it's 11.5 centimeters long. And then I also need to measure how wide it is. So it looks like it is 4 centimeters wide. So then I will take, on my lab sheet, I'll say it is 11.5 centimeters long and 4 centimeters wide. And I'll try to draw that in the space below. So, I look here, get enough space here. So I'm going to start here and say it is, say if I start at 10, 11.5 will be 21.5. So draw the length here. It's 4 centimeters tall. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I complete the drawing as I have it. Now I need to measure this angle here. So what I want to do is I want to take the midpoint. So the midpoint should be right at 2 centimeters. And I want to draw along that midpoint to one corner. And draw along the midpoint to the other corner. So this is the angle I want to measure. So I can grab my protractor, put the center of my protractor here, and if this thing lines up, this is 10, 15, this is exactly, in this case, 20 degrees. So I know for most tubes, for most toilet paper tubes like I'm using, it's 22 degrees, but in this case, the one that I have purchased here is actually 20 degrees, and that's okay. So the next thing we want to do is calculate the area of the sky seen through the tube. So we know what the angular diameter of the tube is. It was 20 degrees in my case. So in this case, the angular radius is going to be half that, will be 10 degrees. So then I use the equation again for a circle to get the angular area of the tube. So it's going to be pi times 10 squared, so that's going to be 314 square degrees. So now I need to figure out how many tube areas it's going to take to figure out the whole sky. Essentially what we're doing is the same thing. If you were to want to count the number of, say, trees in a forest, you might look at 1 acre and count the number of trees in an acre, and then multiply by the number of acres in the forest and get a measurement. We're going to do the same thing here. So in this case, our tube is part of the sky, and so we need to know how many tubes is in the whole sky. So there's 41,253 square degrees in the entire sky. So we take 41253 and we divide it by the area of our tube, which was 314, and we get 131.38. So in this case, 131 is all we really need. We'll just round down to the nearest whole number. So whatever number of stars we count in our tube, we need to multiply by 131 to get the number of stars in the sky. So at this point, we now know that we need to go outside at night and make some observations. Try to get at least 5, maybe 6 star counts. So what you want to do is hold the tube as steady as you can and aim in different places in the sky. And it works a lot better if you can get someplace where there's as little stray light as possible, so as dark as possible. So let's say you go out and you measure 10 in your first time. Let's say you measure 5 in the second time, 10 your third time. You get 12 stars the fourth time, 8 stars the fifth time, and maybe really dark, and so you can see 15 stars the last time. So you've done 6 star counts just looking through the tube with the tube resting on your eye and counting the number of stars that you can see. Now, depending on your light conditions, you may get a lot more than these numbers that I've written down, or even less than the numbers I've written down. It all depends on where you're at. And so anything is okay. So now we need to compute the average number of stars you counted per tube. So we add 10, 5, 10, 12, 8, and 15, and we get 60. And we had 60 counts, so we divide that by 6. I ended up with an average of 10 stars, so that's what we'll write here. Average number of stars per tube. And then we multiply this number by the number we got up in part 4 to get our estimate for the total number of stars in the sky. So in this case, for me, I got 1,310 stars. So here I want you to answer these questions to the best of your ability, think about it a little bit through, and again, remember, scan all these in to a PDF file and submit it on Angel.